should have been fired at the same time. Anytime Bill Clinton can come across the tarmac and have a conversation with no one around, I mean, the pilot isn't there, there's no recording of the conversation. It's like it's premeditated that they had some sort of discussion. And I'm sorry, Loretta Lynch, I do not believe that you talked about grandkids. And Julie, does Loretta have grandchildren?
Uh, she was talking about his grandchildren.
Because
To
I
my
remember saying, I remember that Loretta Lynch does not have any grandchildren. So they had an hour discussion about his grandkids. I'm sorry, Loretta, I don't believe it. But guess what Comey did? Comey did something, and a lot of people, I think, missed it. I think what Comey did when he came on television and said that there's a problem with Hillary Clinton or whatever he said, I'm not exactly sure, but it led to her ratings going down. I think he did that to thumb in their faces and let them know that he was in charge and that Loretta Lynch and that Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton were not in charge. And I think he did that on purpose. I think he tried to remedy it, but the damage had already been done. What are you thinking?
Well, I think that you're right, but I think it probably goes a little further than that. I think we've been looking just at Trump, but Trump was surprised he won as well. So maybe we ought to look at what Comey did and his motivations for what he did to Hillary Clinton. Maybe that should be a subject of a probe,
Well,
because somebody didn't want her to win,
yes. Well,
and
I think
not
it was
wanted to do
racist.
it.
I think it was racist and sexist. I think that he was thinking, oh, this black hussy doesn't have the gall to tell me what to do. And that old broken down hussy from of Hillary, who does she think she is? And I think he got on national television to bring them down. And his power and authority.
I don't think he did it. I don't think he did it.
He was out of
I don't.
control.
I don't think he did it without tacit approval from some other people.
Okay. And do you want to tell the audience who that is? Because I already know who you think it is, but I don't think they know who we know who the.
I think Valerie Jarrett and President Obama didn't want.
Absolutely. You know, this our show caters to the African American market. This is something that a lot of African Americans can't seem to digest and swallow. So I try to give it to them in baby spoons so that they will understand step by step the kind of person that our former president really was. When you pull back that curtain, almost like in the Wizard of Oz, you know, you pull that curtain back and nothing seems to be what it is. It's just smoke and mirrors in the very beginning. This is the way he was. This is what his administration.
Well, Hillary made it clear on the campaign trail the first time she ran against Barack Obama, when she ran against Barack Obama. She said he was great. He was great in a suit, and a suit with no substance, so to speak.
Oh boy.
Well, we look at the race back in 2008. In 2008, if it were not for the super delegates,
Yes.
Obama would not have beaten Hillary Clinton. He did not clearly beat Hillary. And
Hillary doesn't deserve to be president of the United States. Whether he beat her or not, this was not her time. She's never going to be that. Almost like Hubert Humphrey. He really wanted to be president so bad. So did she. She lost $1 billion in 2008 and $1 billion in 2012. How many people are going to constantly keep backing you if you've lost $2 billion? So she's done. She's over with. And now we have a whole new frontier.
At the end of the day, I think that everyone's been waiting with bated breath. And when I fully understood the directive of the special counsel, it became quite apparent to me that the special counsel was not going to be able to do anything to the president. So since he can't do anything to the president, like Ken Starr was able to do with
Nixon,
with Clinton, why are we wasting our time with this when, if the president, and he said it clearly, he fired him based on Rod Rosenstein's letter that Rosenstein now says that was contrived.
Absolutely.
The reason that Comey was fired, based on that letter, he should have been fired. He should have been fired by Barack Obama. Even he wouldn't have been my FBI director after he got off that stage.
Absolutely. Okay, so we all know now that so far there's no real teeth in the Mueller report, and we're going to see throughout all of next week. It's going to be on the air. What's in it? What isn't? Release the report. They're going to go back and forth because the Democrats are oh my God, they're having Trump syndrome, and they're just so upset that there's no teeth in it. So let's wait. We're going to all talk about it again next week. We know a lot is going to be happening all week long, so we're going to move on. Now,
my one thing I'm going to say about this.
What?
The one thing that the president needs to do,
he
needs to disassociate himself with some of the unsavory people he give a second and a third chance to. Because had he not had an open door to a lot of people, those doors might have otherwise been closed to this entire debacle. Because at the end of the day, it's nothing there. It's breakfast. However, there were a lot of people that went to jail. There are a lot of people under indictment because, listen.
34 people indicted, 11 people went to jail. So let's wait until next week. We're going to talk about it again. Then more information is going to come out and we'll be able to see more things. Now, the Democrat president, vice president matching game. I call it the dating matching game. Who should run with who on the Democratic ticket in 2020? So Julie and I are going to kind of give you our viewpoint and perspective of who's the matchup. Okay. On Breitbart, Steve Bannon thought that Beto O'Rourke. Let me stop calling him Beto. His name is Robert Francis O'Rourke, and Kamala Harris would be a good matchup against the president. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think Beto O'Rourke should be anywhere near the White House.
Me either.
I cannot support another privileged frat boy. I'm not going to. He reminds me of a younger version of John Kerry. A whole lot of hair, a whole lot of talk, and no substance.
Burger. Where's the beef? You remember that? Where's the beef?
Absolutely. If I were to choose a Democratic ticket of the people that are on who've declared right now, I would choose a president and vice presidential nominee. I would go with Kamala Harris and Peter Buttigieg, the mayor. He's a mayor from I think Indiana. Let me see. I forgot where he's from.
Okay.
I remember several years ago when they were choosing the Democratic chairman.
Buttigieg came out?
Yes, he's from South Bend, Indiana.
Okay.
Right. He is from Indiana. Peter Buttigieg, I guess you pronounce his name like that.
Okay.
He is openly gay and he's married. But this man, not a butt, this man is absolutely sharp. On either ticket, he is excellent to have on either ticket. Has absolutely nothing to do with him being gay, bringing in the gay vote. It has everything to do with this man is bright and he has a heck of a future in the country because he grasps what the needs are of everybody.
Okay, I'm going to interject something here. Let me just say this. I don't know if he would play and who would match with no Poco Warren. I call her No Poco, which is Elizabeth Warren. Who would match with her as a vice president in your view?
Who would choose her as a vice president?
Well, who would match with her as a vice president? Her being the presidential candidate. Who do you think would match with her?
I would go with Julian Castro.
Really? Why?
Because Julian Castro doesn't take any tea for the fever.
Oh, really?
No, he does not. And he is not led by the nose by his own party.
Okay, well, what makes you think that? I remember he was head of HUD, but I don't remember him doing anything stellar. Tell me why you're thinking that he would make a good running mate.
Well, no one in the Obama administration was allowed to be a star except Obama.
Okay.
So The skills of others was always downplayed in order to make sure the golden president always presented himself, was being presented and marketed. Because remember, I was told by Obama team back in 2008, Obama's a brand, and they had to keep the brand going. So the identity and the abilities of other people in his administration were constantly
So
overshadowed.
tell me why you think Castro would make a good running mate with Elizabeth Warren. What kind of chutzpah did he have, or no taking nothing for tea for the fever? What is it that he did that makes you think that about him?
He
What did he do?
he was told not to run, and he was told to wait his time,
Oh,
and he told them, no one determines my time but the people, and I am going to run because of what I believe in, not because I've been designated or anointed to run. And he is striking out on his own, and he's making decisions for himself. And if anyone keeps an independent mind and gets away from the branding of the Democratic Party,
you
that
mean the
everybody's got,
plantation? You do mean the
they got
plantation
trouble.
of the Democratic Party, right? Okay.
Okay?
So you think that he would be one of those persons, almost like what was the guy that's the ambassador? He was from New Mexico, Richardson. Almost like Richardson. He has a Richardson-esque way about himself.
Oh, I think he's even brighter than Richardson
Okay.
because he won't get, he will not allow himself to be pigeonholed and be used.
Okay.
And not
Tell me who would go with Gildebrand. Who would go with Kristen Gildebrand? She was on TV today. Who would go with her? Who, if she was the presidential nominee, who would be her good? Who would be a good vice presidential person for her from your perspective, out of the group?
well, since I wouldn't choose her as president,
Me either. But go ahead.
I would say she would probably go with
Who?
Higginlooper.
Who think? Who? Wait a minute. I thought I knew every single candidate. Which one is Hickenlooper?
He's a former governor, John
Of
Higginlooper.
what?
He's
Of
from,
what state?
where is he originally from? One of those Midwest cities. Governor Higginlooper. Let me see. I can't even remember. That's how memorable he
Okay.
was.
Well, right.
And
But what is it about him
I
that
know
you think he would go with Gildebrand? That would be a horrible, horrible ticket. But go ahead. Tell me why you think he would match with her.
he was the governor of Colorado
Oh, okay. Why
because
do you think he would match with her?
because he was very popular from what I remember. He was very popular
Mm-hmm.
when he was in office. He sort of he sat on the fence. I won't call him a centrist. I'd say he's somewhat moderate.
Mm.
And I believe that he's smart enough to know you have to work across the aisle and do the nation's business. Wherein Gillibrand seems to go with the flow.
Yeah.
She,
She's
if the
uneventful.
headlines
She
say,
lacks
if the
charisma. She
headlines,
has no charisma. She has no charisma. She lacks it. She's falling behind a lot. I
I
don't
don't,
think it's her time. I don't think it's her
no,
time.
I don't like brand politics. I don't like branding and the narrative that are given to candidates, and they fall into this rock star thing.
Mm.
I don't. Rock music has its place, but I don't want a rock star in the White House.
Well, let
I
me ask you a question. Who do you think would go with Cory Booker? Or does Cory
well,
Booker go with someone? I mean, do you see him as the presidential candidate or the vice presidential candidate? And if you do, who would you pair with him? Who would be his date?
I think that Cory Booker should probably go out and pull uh, as his running mate.
Mm-hmm. Who?
I would say the former governor of Michigan. What's her name?
I don't
I
know.
like.
I don't know
Uh,
who the former governor. I'm talking about the people who are running so far that we know.
that's running now. That's
Yes,
who's
yes,
running now.
right now that's through their hat in the ring.
Well, he would probably go with Amy Klobuchar.
Ugh. Jesus
Not my
Christ.
not my favorite either. But
But you really think Cory Booker would pick Amy Klobuchar? I mean, her staff hated her guts. They wanted her to leave the Congress. She's so horrible. Really,
well,
I mean, really, she
she's either going to run.
She doesn't even need to be in the. I don't think she needs to even be in the running. But
I,
tell me why you think that they would.
she's not my favorite either. You know, I find her to be very impersonable, very rude.
Yeah.
She will take your money and then act like she doesn't know you when you're walking down the hall. Like a lot of the women I've encountered, I find, except to be honest, Elizabeth Warren and Kamala Harris, the women are not warm and fuzzy people to have a conversation with.
No, they're not. I mean, but you know, I found out today that Kamala Harris is my sorority sister. I'm like, oh God, I didn't know it. When we get to talking dirt, the new segment that I'm having, I maybe call it something else, but when we start talking dirt, start talking dirt about her. She is my sorority sister, so I'm going to take another. I'm just going to peek at her again.
Well, I told you I'm not going to speak ill of her because I know it personally. I like her.
Let me ask you a question. We're moving on. President Trump signed an executive order on freedom of speech on college campuses. What do you think will be the impact of this executive order on America's university and colleges? Did you get the opportunity to kind of peruse that construct at all?
Well, his executive order really doesn't have the power to be enforced. It's basically him taking a position in support of free speech, but that, like, a condom is gonna break.
Well, okay, go ahead, finish.
People are going to continue to take polarized positions, and no executive order can mandate how someone conducts themselves.
Well, you know,
now, they should respect free speech because it's guaranteed in the Constitution. Absolutely. But you know, we're still looking for our 40 acres and a mule, and I don't see them coming down the street yet.
Well, let me just say this. This is what I did. I looked at the executive order for freedom of speech because I don't think people realize what's happening on college campuses. People's voices like mine and yours, we're not welcome on public college campuses or private. They don't want us on there. They aren't protecting us. I think his first name is Kevin. His last name is Reyes. Got punched in the face when he had Make America Great table, and so they don't want us on their campuses. So the president is saying we give $35 billion in research funding to college campuses, and we give these people grants. And if you're not going to exercise or you're not going to protect and you're not going to allow conservative voices to be on the campuses, we're going to re-look at your funding. So what he did was send this money, the executive order, over to the Department of Management and Budget and to the Department of Education to kind of take a look at, and he is trying to subtract or take away their funding if they aren't going to allow conservative voices like mine and yours on college campuses. They're not supposed to be able to keep us off of, we can't talk and we can't come up there and then we can't feel safe. What kind of crap is that? It's not just their money, it's my money and your money too. So he came up with this executive order and he said, listen, either you're going to allow the conservative voices or voices of everybody heard on your campus, then we're going to take a look at all the grants that we're giving to your university and do something about it. Now, this is what I did. I remember back in the 60s and 70s, I was young, but I took a look at that. And I said, where did affirmative action come from? Well, I began to realize that basically the construct of affirmative action is almost what President Trump is doing when you compare the two. There was a time in history when black people couldn't go to campuses and they were bad to us and we couldn't go to certain universities and colleges and everything. So I think it was Lyndon Baines Johnson, am I correct?
That's Johnson.
Lyndon Baines Johnson was the person that set up and started affirmative action predicated on what? An executive order. And then it went through the legislative process, and that's how we, through the Civil Rights Act. And that's how we actually began to be able to be and go on campuses and be heard and get accepted into universities. So,
don't get me started on. Don't get me started on.
Like the same thing to me.
You know, I'm not going to sit here and say affirmative action ever worked for me, because it didn't. It worked for white women. It worked for Asians. It never worked for us.
Well, let me tell you a little history of it.
They can't take if they took away affirmative action, it wouldn't make much difference that I've seen in my life, because it never benefited me. Everything I had to get the hard way.
Well, let me tell you this. I never got the chance to be benefited by affirmative action either. I never had that opportunity, but there are other people in our community, the black community, who need affirmative action. You and I may not have had to use it, but there are other people who do. And I want African Americans, I want Latinos, legal Latinos, I want those groups of people to have an opportunity too. Who said that Harvard, USC, and everybody else, with their rich people's affirmative action, which is money, why should they have a leg up over everybody else just because they're rich? Why shouldn't we have an opportunity as minorities? So, while affirmative action didn't work for you and me, it works for other people. Just like rich people use their affirmative action, in my head, that's their money. So, in order to have an equalizer on that campus,
I'm not saying that affirmative action didn't have the intent. The intent was to help us. It did not overall help black people. More black people went to college when they went to historically black colleges before affirmative action and all the desegregation. And I'm saying now that I have not seen in 25, 30 years what affirmative action ever did that could benefit me, benefit many people that I know. Because every time we wanted to go in the door, there was somebody else who had that, quote, minority ticket, and we were pushed to the back. So if I'm
Elizabeth Warren claiming that she was an Indian and got into Harvard Law School as an Indian person when she only has 0.09% Indian blood in her, and she got in through affirmative action as an Indian, I understand it from that point of view. I do know. And
what about the Saudi Arabians that come in and call themselves black?
Well, what they're doing is buying their way in, like the other rich white people in this country. They're giving chairs to American University in Georgetown. I mean, the Prince of Oman and Saudi and everything has given American University $1 billion. And that is basically a ransom for their people to be able to go to those universities. So I understand it from your point of view.
Middle Asians came to this country, and Asians, and they benefited far more from affirmative action, because those liberals out there that wanted to give somebody a helping hand always want to dictate how you achieve when you're black based upon what ladder they want you to climb. So when they want their new set of people, they bring them in. It's amazing.
So you're saying affirmative action is sort of like a revolving door. That, okay, the Democrats want Indians this time to be the recipients of affirmative action, and next time they want people from Saudi Arabia, then the next time they want Latinos, so they use it as a revolving door policy or practice in order to bring in various and sundry minorities into the campus. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying exactly is that liberals want a new set of minorities, and they've been trying to cultivate a new set of minorities for a long time, because they're tired. They're tired of black people believing that they can think independently of how they want to dictate to us. Now that's my problem with liberals.
I agree with you 100%. Liberals, this show is all about educating black people of what's really happening. This is very important. Yes. They are, and you and I have talked about this, they are actually trying to use Latinos to replace us and rank and file whites. That's exactly what they're trying to do. They are trying to make sure
look what they did in the university
in this country
That's
people from
exactly.
India too. People from India too. They're trying to do it
Well, look
all,
at the
and I
university
understand that.
system.
Yes, I agree with you 100% on that score. Democrats will cheat, lie, steal, and do anything they have to do in order to win an election and be in control of this country and think that they can control our society. And I want you to know, Mr. and Mrs. Left Wing Snowflake Nut. People like me are here to tell the truth. We're going to be tearing down the wall that you have built around the black community so you can't hear our voices. So we're going to be putting an end to your tactics and antics against our people and trying to replace us with other groups of people. We're not going to stand for it. Okay, next thing. We want to talk about the update on the southern border, or we want to move on to something else? We want to talk about, yes, let's talk about the updates on the southern border. What did you find out?
Well, what I found out, that the military is putting out how they're going to suffer great losses if
Yes.
money is taken from them. At the end of the day, the one argument that I get from both sides, and I agree with, is that when a president wants something, you give it to them.
Right.
So we should not. He is saying, you're going to make me shortchange the military because you will not give me the funding that's needed.
Great point. Great point.
At the end of the day, I don't think the intention is to shortchange the military. I think the intention is, listen, I'm coming here with a baseball bat and I intend to break up all the glasses in the room until you give me the one I want to drink out of.
Yeah.
So give him whatever money he's asking for. Whatever money he's asking for that wall. You don't have to agree with the wall. I don't agree with walls. I was there when the wall came down in '89. I was a kid sitting up on the wall when the wall came down in Eastern Europe, and I walked across to the DDR. But I was an American walking across there. And I was glad to see that wall come down. However, there is a problem at the southern border.
There is a problem at the southern border. There's no question. There's a problem at the southern border, and it has to be resolved. It has to be resolved. And
this is the
one of the
Congress
ways that we're going to have our wall.
This is a Congress that consistently rejected very good, comprehensive immigration proposals. George Bush put out a great proposal for
really?
immigration.
What was that? What was great about his proposal? Because when I read it, it totally sucked.
No, actually, it was similar to what is being put out right now,
Well, I hate
except
what's being put out right now because it doesn't include a wall. And I don't want them to have a pathway to citizenship.
No,
I told
he
you
did.
last week I want them to go home. No pathway to citizenship, no amnesty, no welfare, no health care, no education, nothing. I want them to go home. I don't want to have nothing comprehensive, one step at a time, and I want the wall built first.
we have to have
the wall. I don't want to have
immigration
anything.
involves far more than
People
one
look like you
border.
and me cannot break the law several times, have a misdemeanor and a felony, and then be able to go to a sanctuary city and nothing happens to them. That's not what happens. If I knocked him in the head just
We
like
would
I
not
told
have
you and
sanctuary
took his
city.
wallet and I ran to San Francisco, I get locked up. How come these people can go to a sanctuary city and nothing happened to them? They can murder, rape, steal, kill, and they don't go to jail if they go to a sanctuary city. They have more rights than you and I. Also, when people in our country go to work, if you are a black man and you have been to jail for any reason and you paid your debt to society or you're on probation and you go and try to get a job, they'll ask you, okay, have you ever been to jail? And they won't give you that job. But an illegal alien can go who has broken our law either through a misdemeanor or a felony, and they can go and get a job because their record isn't showing. They can say, no, I've never been arrested, but really they did break the law. They're criminals too. They are a criminal too who is getting a job over and above African Americans who worked hard and fought in just about every daggone war we've ever had and have so much skin in the game, and they have more rights than us. No comprehensive, no amnesty, no government programs, no Section 8, nothing from our country until you go home and come here the legal way. Okay. Don't get me started. You know how I feel about that situation. Nothing comprehensive. I don't want to hear nothing comprehensive. Comprehensive means that somebody gets this and somebody gets that, and hex to the no. All right.
You and I both
hex
know
to the
because
no.
there's no way.
No. Okay. President Trump.
Dolores, let me
get
this
out. No, I'm moving on. So let me just say this: the Secretary, the Supreme Court of the United States, victory to recognize the sovereignty of America. They put out. The president had a victory. The president had a victory. They're saying if you have been detained, you've been in jail, and you are an illegal alien, and you're in jail, and you get out of jail, we can come and arrest you, put you back in jail until such time that you can get a hearing for your immigration status. And so the Supreme Court upheld that for the president, so he had a victory. And they're saying that it's limitless. In other words, they can lock you up for as long as it takes. If it takes 10 years for you to get a hearing, well, you'll be there. But at the end of the day, the first crime that they've committed several crimes. If they've committed a crime like, killed somebody or in a gang or whatever this case may be, threw the body on the sidewalk, as they've done in Bethesda, Maryland recently, then when they get out of jail from that crime, they can go back to jail because they have broken our laws in order to come here in the first place. So, I don't know what you were getting ready to say before, but if you want to say it now, you can.
What I was going to say, and what I believe is the effective thing to do, is number one, we need to uphold the rule of law.
Absolutely.
But we also must be cognizant that we are a nation of immigrants.
I'm not an immigrant. Black people are not immigrants. We did not come here stealing our way and finding our way. We were brought here involuntarily. We did not ask to be brought here. Either our ancestors stole us, the white people, to bring us here as slaves, or either they stole us out of Africa to bring us here as slaves. We are not immigrants. And I will not accept it. I will not go for it. I am not for. We are not immigrants. We are people who were brought here against our will, and we were slaves, and we were not immigrants. Name another group of people who were slaves like us. No. Go home. You do not get a pass. I don't give a darn who you are, what you do, where you came from. If you've broken the law in this country, go home, and I'm not an immigrant. You can call everybody else an immigrant, but not me, not black people. We are not immigrants to this country. The people whose ancestors are from the slaves, we are not immigrants. Now, maybe people from the last 25 to 30 years that came here from various unsundry parts of the world, they may be immigrants, but people whose ancestry who are from slavery, we are not immigrants. Sorry, we don't fit the definition of immigrants, and we're not immigrants. Nobody better not call me no damn immigrant.
The true people, the indigenous people of this country, look at all of us as interlopers and invaders.
They look at us as interlopers and invaders, but we didn't come here to invade. We came here to pick cotton and make rich white people richer. We didn't come here to invade them. We didn't get a leg, yes, Miss Charlie, put us in chains and bring us on over here to mess up the Indians' life. No, we did not. That's not how we.
Well, we believe in reparations then.
No, I don't believe no damn reparations either. Oh no, I think we did enough welfare and stuff. We had reparations. But let me ask you a question. What do you think about the victory? What do you think about the victory?
Listen, we didn't get the 40 acres and a mule. The Japanese got reparations after World War II.
I don't believe in reparations.
They had rebuilt Germany. They rebuilt Japan. But we still have not gotten our due. If you're going to sit here...
We haven't gotten our due, that's for sure.
If you want to sit here and take a position...
We have not gotten our due, but I don't believe in reparations either. Okay, so tell me what you're thinking about...
There's a check that they haven't cashed yet. They have not written to us. and it's long overdue.
Okay, so thank you, President Trump. What do you think about his victory in regards to this particular issue about immigrants? Excuse me.
Well, it has been decided, it's constitutionally mandated, that the policy of immigration is under the auspices of the State Department and the President, and it is written by our Congress. At the end of the day, they all have to come together and sit down and get our business done. Because if we are being torn apart by one issue. If it's not the ludicrous abortion issue, it's this issue. The fact of the matter is, as I said, the only way the nation's business is going to get together is everybody give something. Give him his wall and meet him halfway on your needs. And when you win your presidency, you can make your changes then. But up until then, you better deal who's sitting at the table now and at the head of the table, because what's going to happen if and when that person is gone does not satisfy the wrongs and the rights that need to be addressed today.
Well, let me just say this. It is clear. I had several friends that after the president won and everything, they were thinking, okay, now we're going to be able to heal and get the country back together. And to me, it's quite clear on the left-wing snowflake side, they have no intention of trying to compromise nothing. They have demonstrated, they've done everything. They've thrown everything at this president. They have no intention of letting up. In fact, and to me, it's going to get worse. As this election starts happening in 2020, it's going to get worse. It may even come to that we're already in a civil war. It may be that we may have violence, I think. I think it's going to get bad. I think that's why Antifa is. I think it's not going to be a good thing. I don't think we're going to be able to come together. I don't see us having any middle ground. I can't even find the middle ground. I lost the middle ground. The middle ground, in my view, is totally lost. So I just don't see it happening. It would be nice, but it's just not happening. And I know that there are people on the right side of y'all who's not going to take it anymore. We're not interested. Not at all. The things that they've done. Is that and you can't sit at the table in a restaurant, run them off and spit on Candace Owens and no. It's just I just don't see it happening. Maybe it will. Maybe 10-15%.
I don't think either side in this whole thing wins any angel wings. Because
I totally disagree with that. I think that they started it. It's evident. We're not getting along. I don't see how it's going to happen. And I don't know if I want it to happen either. I think we want to fight to the finish. I'm ready to bring my sword down by the riverside. I think we're going to fight to the finish for the soul of this country. It's going to be one way or the other. And I think that this is the time in history that we're at this turning point. It's almost like the difference when we were slaves and Lincoln wanted to free us. I think we're at a turning point. And once that point is turned, I think that it's not going to go well. Really, I don't think it's going to go well no matter what the outcome is. Okay. Now, why don't you say your last words in terms of talking about giving us some words of inspiration, your 2 minutes of inspirational conversation or words, because I know it's always intense in here, so we have to sort of temper it to give something positive at the end of the conversation. And even though the engineer doesn't like it, well, guess what? That's too bad. So, anyway, what's your last 2 minutes? Tell me what they are. Tell me your inspirational mark.
Republican hostum unitas nocite amis permanente odium. A republic cannot survive. Its hate is its friend, and unity is its enemy.
Is that what you're going to say? I thought you were going to give us 2 minutes of a conversation, but that's good.
No, that's not all I'm going to say.
Okay, because we're running out of time.
Expanding upon that, it is time for the hate to take a back seat to what the Republic was brought together on. We were a united states. We have to be a united people, and we have to come together. There can be no more of this recalcitrance. We have to go where our commonality exists. If this Republic is going to survive, we have to come together. We must be a united states. We are totally divided. It is not a us and them. Okay. No more adversaries.
Okay, your 2 minutes are up. So let me just say this: spring is in the end. The Democrats are identifying people's fate. That is to run as their VP mates in 2020. Are they looking for love in all the wrong places, like Robert Kraft, owner of the New England Patriots? According to the polls, Politico and former advisor to Obama, they believe Trump is going to win by a landslide in 2020. News report is so hum-hum at best, and no collusion with Russia has been reported. It's been so quiet, one would think that the report was written in Russian. Where are the leakers when you need them? Those with Trump syndrome, take a Valium and relax. It's only spring. You will have plenty of time to go off the deep end. Take time to smell the roses. This is the Dolores Reyes Show. I'm your host, Dolores Reyes, on eLife Media Group. Join us again next week at 4 p.m. Watch us on Facebook and YouTube. And thank you so much. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.